So from a scientific point of view, I'm just curious. So the idea or the knowledge that our thought energy is energy, right? When you put thought out into the world, that's been tested, that there's an energetic vibration that happens. So what do you think happens to that energy when a person dies?
You know, what I consider, okay, so like right now we're all sitting around having a podcast, talk, etc. We can explain everything that's happening right now with natural laws, how sound waves work, how the pressure on the auditory nerve is triggering an electrical signal that's going up to our brain that's being interpreted from all these neural connections as an English language. I mean, just like, it's amazing how it works, right? So for me, what I believe of, you know, in terms of like, okay, so we're getting ready to approach the ecology unit. And one of the rules about ecology is that matter is eternal, but energy is it changes forms, right? You can't create or destroy energy. So it does change, right? So except for the guys that live down at the bottom of the ocean, everything on Earth relies on the sun. We do too, right? We eat the plants, we eat the animals, we eat the plants. So the energy flows into our ecosystem and it leaves as heat. So, and this sounds kind of depressing, but people go, okay, well, no, what I'm about to say is, people say, okay, well, if you don't believe in heaven, how is this all going to end? And there's a hypothesis out there called heat death. So the coffee cups, right? You pour hot coffee into it. You come back in an hour. What's the temperature of your mug? Is it still hot?
Cooled down.
It's cooled down, right?
Down,
because heat radiates out. Energy moves from an organized form to a disorganized form.
Right.
On a grand enough time scale, eventually we will reach the point of that cold coffee where energy can't be moved back into things like human beings. It will all have dissipated and evened out, and then nothing new will ever happen again. That's the depressing part to talk about. So yeah, for me, like, am I energy? I'm a system that obtains and uses energy. And right now we could even feel it on our skin. The energy is leaving my body as heat. That energy can never be reclaimed. We can't use the radiating heat energy to power microphones or whatever. So for me, what life is in terms of energy, it's a temporary pause in entropy. I'm trying not to get too technical.
That's the Fibonacci approach, right? Like, we have this thing that grows, this energy that grows out, but it can't feed itself. It keeps pushing out and pushing out and pushing out until we are dust. What I understand right now, my understanding of the world, but I feel like I'm an ever evolving, growing being.
As you should be, yeah.
Right. And so that's why I like having these talks. And that's why I was curious with the energy that, right, cannot be destroyed, changing form, where you think it goes. And what you're saying is that it's this theory of heat, that it just pushes out so we die. Our thought energy just sort of dissipates.
Right.
And doesn't reform into anything.
The atoms will. The molecules that make me up, those are theoretically eternal until protons decay, and that's like so far into the future we can't even do it, or can't even comprehend it. But again, going back to the idea of, am I right? Are you right? Who knows? But because neither of us know if we are definitively right, we shouldn't be making laws to force other people to follow our way of thinking.
I totally agree. When my mother passed away, I was like, can you send me a message or something and like give me some evidence on the other side? And she's like, I'll try.
Oh, you asked this to her before she died? I like that. I'm going to start doing that.
Like, come on, Mom. I need some evidence.
You're a test of that. You can get a message through Heaven's Gate. Yeah.